What we think about ourselves determines how we speak to ourselves. Insecurity causes us to think negative things about ourselves, and those negative thoughts become our inner dialogue. Negative self-talk is more than the occasional put down after you make a mistake. Negative self-talk is when your inner voice is excessively negative. It's more like an inner critic. Imagine every mistake you've made amplified and repeated to you over and over and over and over again. And for many of us, for years, we don't even notice how the words that we speak to ourselves are slowly wearing away our self-esteem. I'm sharing with you today ways that we can quiet that voice, that negative inner critic that we have on repeat every day of our lives. A wise woman once told me that you cannot conquer what you don't confront. And you are not going to be able to overcome negative self-talk if you're not even aware that you talk to yourself negatively. You have to become aware and recognize these thought patterns. You're going to start to monitor how you speak to yourself, and you're going to monitor what your results are. You're going to log all of your observations in a journal, and we're going to journal these things because that's going to help us to go back later and reflect so that we can pinpoint what is triggering the thought pattern. Who is triggering it? What is the scenario? What is the circumstance? What's taking place? Is it in response to a mistake? Is it only work related? Is it only when you fail an exam at school? What is actually causing you to start talking negatively to yourself? Once we can pinpoint what the thought pattern is, then we can start to make a plan to interrupt the thought pattern before it begins. After we have become aware of the negative thought pattern, you first want to test that negative thought against your experience. Is this thought valid? Is it true that I can't do anything right? Does the thought that you're having hold weight? Am I really stupid? Is there any experience in my life that casts doubt on that thought? If you test this negative thought against your experience and find that this thought is not true, I want you to replace this lie, because that's what it is. It's a lie. Replace this lie with the truth. And that could sound like, I made a dumb decision right now, but that doesn't mean that I'm dumb. I made a mistake, but that doesn't mean that I'm stupid. If you test this thought and find that there is some truth to it, then this is when I challenge you to ask yourself, is the way that you're speaking to yourself building you up, like helping you? Is it true criticism? Like if you're critiquing yourself, that's what a critique is. I provide specific feedback. Specific feedback isn't you're dumb. That's not specific. That's just speaking negatively to yourself. Constructive criticism is like feedback. Here is where you messed up, but this is a way that you can improve. I think a lot of us that suffer from negative self-talk can sometimes believe that this is you being real with yourself. Like, oh, I'm a realist. I'm telling myself the truth. I can't help it that I'm brutally honest. You have to learn how to have grace. That's not keeping it real, okay? That is not being realistic. That's not treating yourself in a gentle, in a loving way. Handling yourself so callously isn't improving your self-esteem. It isn't building you up in any way. So again, I stress, if the thought has been tested and you find that there is truth or there is validity to that thought, I want you to ask yourself, is this building me up or is this tearing me down? And then I want you to ask yourself, would I say the same thing out loud to a friend? And more often than not, you will find that you won't. If you won't talk to your friend that way, I need you to find the same grace that we extend to other people, and we need to extend that same grace to ourselves. You need to find a better way to say it to you. And our next point is we want to make sure that we're speaking growth. Speaking growth is like speaking life. The word tells us that life and death are in the power of the tongue. We know that we are made in God's image. We know that we have the ability and the power to create with our words. And so if we are fully aware of that, being aware of that helps us change the way that we speak. It gives us a reason to take pause. It gives us a reason to be more mindful and be more conscious of the words that we are speaking, especially the words that we're speaking over ourselves and our personal lives. You want to make sure that you are speaking life at all times. There's going to be someone who watches this video and they're going to say, well, I can't speak life and that's not what I'm living. I got to be real with myself. And in order to keep it real with myself, I'm honest with myself. Well, you can be real with yourself, okay? When you speak growth. I can say to myself, I made a mistake, but I can do X, Y, and Z differently to get a different result. If you find that you honestly have a negative thought, and this negative thought, I guess, is a weakness of yours or a skill that you have yet to obtain or yet to improve on, I want you to add the word yet to your statement, and it changes everything. It changes what you're saying to yourself. I don't know how to fry chicken yet, but with practice, and the more I do it, the more comfortable I become with it, I'm going to get good at it. I'm being real. I don't know how to do this yet, but I will with practice. And that's how I want you to start framing your sentences. Use that stem, say the real part, add yet, and then provide yourself steps that you can use to get to actually see what you can't do well now and actually get there to where you can do it well. When I first started my YouTube channel, I had no idea how to edit videos. I just started doing stuff, okay? I mean, that's literally what I did. I just started doing stuff. And my older videos, they are not as good as my newer videos. But if I would have said to myself, you don't know how to make videos, you are terrible at video editing, that is not constructive feedback. It's not productive. All it does is make me feel worse, and it just discourages me. I can't speak to myself like that. But if I speak growth, you don't know how to video edit yet. But the more that you practice with it, and the more that you watch different YouTube videos and tutorials, maybe you take some video editing courses, I can see you growing in this area the more that you work at it. That is how you need to start to speak to yourself, to quiet that negative voice. We don't want to erode our self-esteem. We are working to build ourselves up, and we build ourselves up with words. When we speak life, when we speak growth to ourselves, we become better people. You'll start to see life. You'll start to see abundance. You'll start to see growth when you change the way that you speak to yourself. As always, what I'm sharing with you are strategies that have assisted me in quieting the negative inner critic that I have inside of me. I want you to know that this is more so like a skill. This is more so like a process, and it's going to take some time for you to get, adjusted to speaking to yourself in a new way. It's like anything else that you try new, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time and some practice for you to get really good at it. I still have moments where I speak down on myself and I'm hard on myself because I'm just a very critical person of myself. And so it's just going to take some time, and it's not going to happen overnight. But I do hope that you find that these tips helpful. And as always, I want you to make sure that you're taking care of you.